If you've ever wondered how to record aesthetic videos just like this, then you're in the right place, because today I'm going to show you step by step on how I create my aesthetic videos so that you can post it to YouTube Shorts, Instagram, or TikTok. So let's go ahead and get started. There are 3 key essential things that you're going to need when it comes to creating your own aesthetic videos, and that's going to be a phone, a tripod, and Capcut. Full disclaimer though, I am going to be showing you how to record using an iPhone, so if you have an Android or any other phone, then I do recommend to skip that chapter of this video. For a tripod, I use 2 different types of tripods, and that's because they both serve different purposes and they also have different heights to them. For the tabletop tripod, this one is very portable and easy to take around. So if I'm putting on any random surface, it doesn't distract anybody's view, it doesn't distract anyone from their work, and it's easier for me to get away with recording videos. Whereas the other tripod is a full-length tripod. I can make it taller than me, I can bring it down to my waist, but this one is not as portable. The reason why I love this tripod though is because it allows me to record things that I'm doing, like walking, taking things out of my refrigerator. If I need to get a point of view shot, I'm able to utilize this tripod with a phone mount extension to it. But pretty much I use both tripods interchangeably, and they're both linked down in the description below along with the phone mount extension. I recommend Capcut for video editing because, one, most importantly, it is free. There is an upgraded version to it, but I have always utilized the free version and my videos always still come out looking aesthetic. Now there are 3 optional products that you can utilize when recording aesthetic videos, and this depends on the type of videos that you're creating. That's going to be a lighting kit, a mic, and a gimbal. Audio is more important than video. If you have bad audio, then you have a bad video. So it's really important to know that if you're going to be recording videos where it requires you to either do voiceovers, or if you're talking to the camera, trying to educate your audience, then it's really important that you do purchase a really good, high quality mic set. And I have 2 different options linked down in my description below. One is more budget friendly and it gets the job done, and the second one is still somewhat budget friendly, but this one has way better audio than the first option. The lighting kit depends on where you're recording your video. So if you are mainly recording outside, then a lighting kit isn't really essential unless you're in very low lighting. You can utilize the sun in the natural lighting to be your light, or you can even utilize the lights in your home. But I do recommend, if you're going to be the subject of your video and if you're doing anything that requires to highlight something specific within your videos, then getting a lighting kit is very essential. Not only does it highlight the subject, but it makes the video seem more crisp, more professional, and more aesthetically pleasing. So I highly recommend getting a lighting kit, which the one that I use is going to be linked in the description below. Finally, a gimbal. So a gimbal is very necessary if you are taking moving shots. Now, someone as myself who creates aesthetic videos, I'm always including moving shots in my video sequence. So it's important that you have a gimbal, especially if you don't have a smooth hand. And plus, even if you do have a smooth hand, a gimbal is going to level up that experience, that smoothness to your videos if you were to utilize it. So if you're getting panning shots, if you're zooming in, if you're zooming out, anything that requires you to move your camera around, then you're going to need a gimbal. I love taking moving shots because it contributes to a very smooth and luxurious or aesthetic looking video. So if that is the type of vibe you're trying to go for, I highly recommend getting a gimbal, and you guessed it, it's going to be linked in the description below. So right now we're going to go through the iPhone settings and how I set up my iPhone to get it the most aesthetic looking feel possible when it comes to my videos. So the first thing you want to do is go to your settings in your iPhone, and then you're going to scroll down until you see the camera app. You're going to go ahead and select the camera app. For record video, I have it at 4K at 60 frames per second. You can choose whatever works best for you. What you're going to do is on this screen, you're going to scroll down. You want to make sure that you have enhanced stabilization enabled. I also have HDR video enabled and lock camera enabled, and then the auto FPS, I have that set for auto 30 and 60 FPS. I mainly use video mode, so I typically don't need to change slow-mo or cinematic, but that's just my preference and that's up to you. Now, if you scroll down, I have grid enabled, and I highly recommend to have your grid enabled because it is a guideline for you to record the best framed video possible. So having the grid on is going to be key when it comes to especially your moving shots and when you're zooming in and zooming out by hand. Now for preserve settings, you want to have your exposure adjustment enabled and everything else is optional, but I always have my exposure adjustment enabled. This is going to play a key role for making my video creation process as easy as possible. So now that you have all your settings all set up, you're going to go ahead and exit out of your settings. And then you're gonna open up your camera. So now what you're gonna do is you can go ahead and select video. In the top left-hand corner, you can see that you can adjust your exposure however you'd like. What's important to know about your settings is that whatever you adjust your camera settings right now under the video mode, if you were to exit out of camera mode and then go back to camera, it's going to be the same exact settings. And the reason why this is really important when you're recording videos is because it makes it faster for you. You don't have to mess around with adjusting the lighting. You don't have to mess around with adjusting basically how it looks at all, because when you open up your camera, it's automatically there for you. So that's how you would set up your iPhone camera setting. If you like the information that you hear so far in this video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content creation tips. What I think would be so much fun is if you actually show me what your videos look like when you're done creating it. So I want you to tag me in your videos. You can tag me at by Chrissy Walker, and I would love to check it out. I'm gonna show you how to record an aesthetic looking video using just this arrangement right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this arrangement and we're gonna go ahead and place it on the island counter just so that I can give you the tips from here. I'm gonna go ahead and start screen recording on my phone so that you can see what my perspective looks like as I'm recording this arrangement right here. So I'm gonna go ahead, screen record, and then we're gonna go to our camera app. And then as you can see, I have the grid on. The grid is key when it comes to recording because it helps you see a guideline of where you're recording. What I usually use the grid line for is if I'm recording moving shots and I'm moving, like maybe panning side to side, or if I'm zooming in and out, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna line some type of line within your shot, whether if it's a surface or if it's a literal line in your video. So like maybe right here, that's a line. You just want the line to be parallel to the line to the grid. And you can see that it's parallel no matter which direction you go. That is the key here. So I'm gonna go ahead and record this side to side. And then you want to review the video. And as long as you have the enhanced stabilization enabled, then it should look as smooth as possible given you don't have a gimbal. I'm gonna go ahead and do different moving shots utilizing the grid. The line right here, and then just make it parallel to my grid. I'm gonna start close and then I'm going to zoom out. And I wanna make sure I keep those subjects in the same kind of like L position. So I'm gonna start close. Maybe light to the flower, and then zoom out with my body. Another way to get aesthetic shots with your subjects is to add dimension to your video. So you can utilize anything you have around you, whether if it's a wall or if there's a chair or if there's something that you can simply just grab and place in front of you, you can add dimension just by placing it in front of your subject. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this back, and then I'm gonna utilize my water bottle to be that foreground of my video. So then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and start with the bottle halfway in my shot, and then I'm going to focus, make sure my camera's focused on the subject, and I'm gonna do a panning shot to the side and then just record. So this is a reveal shot. And then maybe I could utilize the door. So maybe I could do the same thing. What's important is that whatever is between the camera and the subject of the video, you just want to make sure that that's blurred out and that the focus is still in focus. So your subject is still crisp and it looks great. Another thing to always keep in mind is that you always want to have, at least for me when I'm creating aesthetic videos, is you always want to have something moving in your shot, because if you don't, then the shot isn't interesting. It's basically a picture. So you always want to have something moving. So if it's, let's say, a still video, let's say I record this video and it's still, what would make it more interesting is if I have the candle lit and the candle's flickering. So that creates some type of movement. Let's say you're trying to record an aesthetic video at the coffee shop. What would be interesting is if you get like maybe people typing on their computer. Maybe you record the window and then you record cars driving by. Maybe you record the barista handing the coffee to someone who ordered a drink. You just want to get different moving shots, and that's what creates a very interesting video, and also contributes to it being aesthetic, is because everything, it just flows well together. So that's something that's to keep in mind when you're recording your videos. And then my last tip is to get as many different shots as possible. It's better to have too much footage than not enough. Get different shots of the same action over and over again. So for example, let's say I'm grabbing a banana. What I could do is I could grab the banana, and this is like a medium shot actually. So let's say it's a medium shot. And then maybe I get like a long shot. So let's say I put my phone up and I get a long shot and I come in, ooh, a banana, grab a banana, and I go. So that's a long shot. And then you want to get a close up. So do the same exact action. You come around, grab the banana, and then a close up, you come in and then you grab a banana. Those are different ways that you can create different shots and get creative with your work. And then just something that's really important is to keep it simple. I think sometimes people overcomplicate it. 10-second video, 15-second video, even shorter than that, like 5 to 8 seconds is perfectly fine, as long as your shots are interesting, they're smooth, they're aesthetic looking, the exposure is the same throughout the entire video, and you get different shots of the same motion. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and edit the video all together using Capcut. And what's the best place to do it than sitting in the comfort of your own couch? That's the best thing about content creation, is that after you filmed all your videos, you can basically edit anywhere. So I'm in the comfort of my own couch. I'm gonna go ahead and edit it. So we're gonna go ahead and open up Capcut. And then we're gonna go ahead and select edit at the bottom left-hand corner. Select new project, and then you're going to select all of the videos that you just created. So I'm gonna select all of these, hit add in the bottom right corner. Okay, so typically what I do when I'm editing my videos together is I will just briefly skim through all the videos just to see what I have. Typically, what I like to do is I try to create some type of story with the videos, no matter if it's in a coffee shop or if I'm recording videos of a banana, whatever it is, I am always trying to create some type of story. And if it's not a compelling story, at least putting everything in order to where it makes sense as it happens. So as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of different panning shots. There's a reveal shot. There's kind of like a shot where the subject goes away, and then there's shots of me grabbing a banana 2 different times in a different style. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and shorten everything. When it comes to creating an aesthetic looking video, I think the shorter the clips are, the better. Because if you have shorter clips and it's going by like 1 second at a time, it makes the entire video more interesting. So not only do you have moving shots, or you have a subject or something in your video moving, you have short spurts of clips. And when you think about the way that basically society is right now for social media, attention span is super low. It's like at an all-time low. So you just want to make sure that your clips are not only interesting, but they go by quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and edit all my clips to be 1 second. And what I want to do is I want to take the 1 second that's the most interesting part of that clip and just trim it down to that 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of them. When I have clips of me in motion, I just want to get the entire clip in there somehow. I still don't want it to be a elongated clip. Like when you're on TikTok and you're looking at videos that have one long action, they still clip it up. So in this part right here where I'm walking around the counter and grabbing the banana, I want that sequence of me walking up to the banana and grabbing the banana, but obviously that's more than 1 second long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop it up and then make those important parts of the clip 1 second each, so that I don't have the entire thing, but you can see the motion of me basically going up to the banana and grabbing the banana. This part right here, I was questioning if I wanted to keep it in because the pan wasn't as stable as I wanted it to be. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just delete it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rearrange all of the clips to a point where the video makes sense to me. So there's some type of story, even though there's not a climactic story in it. I just still want it to make sense. So for example, as I look through my shots, this one is a reveal shot right here. So what I think I want to do is I want to go ahead and have this at the beginning. Maybe not the first shot, but I want it at the beginning regardless. And then I know that for sure I would want this one to be the last shot, because this is kind of looks like an ending to a video. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it to the end. And then I'm just going to play around with the different shots. And I think me grabbing the banana is kind of climactic. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and actually bring it towards the end so that it's like there was a purpose to the video and I fulfilled that purpose. And then so after the reveal, I think what I want to do, organize these to where it kind of makes sense. So this one kind of looks like it's a reveal. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to the beginning as well. You don't always have to do all reveal shots at the beginning of your video, as long as it makes sense. So at the end of the day, you just want it to flow well together and it looks aesthetic, then it's fine. So we're going to watch the entire video. Actually, the first thing you want to do before you even watch the video is you want to scroll to the beginning of your video and then hit the mute button. Unless you want the sound effects like maybe walking shoes or like chatter in the background, if you want that to be on, then you can unmute it. For me, I think for aesthetic looking videos is to mute the entire thing and then just have music over it. I'm gonna go ahead and add audio. So you can either add audio on the platform you're uploading to, or you can add the audio from Capcut. Capcut is linked with TikTok. So typically the music you use on Capcut can be used on TikTok, but it's not always the best idea to use the music from Capcut onto Instagram, because in the future, you never know if Instagram is going to start copywriting people. I would recommend to go within the platform, find the music as similar as possible or the exact track using that platform, and then having it selected to go over your video. I'm gonna go ahead and add audio at the bottom, and I'm gonna click on sounds, and then I'm just going to browse through whatever I feel sounds best. When you export your video, so you wanna export it according to the settings that you recorded with. I recorded in 4K, 60 frames per second. So when you export it, you wanna make sure that in the top right-hand corner, so I did 4K, 60 frames per second. I'm gonna go ahead and export it. And then what I like to do is I typically like to just review the video in my camera roll, because sometimes there will be glitches. So we're gonna go to my camera roll, click on the video, and then we're gonna watch it through. This is the final video. And that's it. Comment down below what the most helpful tip was from today, and then click here to watch the next video. Bye.